What's up? I am Caleb O'Hara. I'm a freshman at ASU here. I'm on the Tempe campus, and I'm originally from Alaska, and I wrestle here on the ASU wrestling team. I wrote my paper because I am a commercial fisherman in Alaska, and so what I'm about to say really affects the commercial fishing industry and how it will affect even more so than that. Like the salmon price will skyrocket. So that means if you like sashimi, you're out of the game, because then it's going to get so high in price because of the farm salmon that they put in. The quality, or not the quality, the demand for it's going to be so high, but the supply is going to be so low that it's just going to outweigh everything, and it'll just mess up the whole sushi industry. But anyways, all right. My title is The Effect of Proposed Mining in Bristol Bay, Alaska, Dynasty Minerals Pebble Mine. Wild Alaskan caught salmon are some of the most nutritious fish on this planet. They have a life cycle of 5 years, and their only purpose is to eat, live for 4 years, and then on their last year, they trek to fresh water to spawn. Bristol Bay, Alaska is home to the largest salmon run in the entire world. The Bristol Bay area lives off of salmon, commercial fishing for salmon, and the tourist trap of fly fishing for salmon. Alaska, as a state, needs that salmon run to prosper in order to get tourists to visit Alaska in the summers for its economy. To have the wildlife thrive in the food chain, and the world needs salmon, or else the price for sashimi will skyrocket, and sushi restaurants and vendors will lean towards a lab-made salmon that is pumped up with chemicals. Bristol Bay is also rich in gold and other minerals. The only problem is that those abundant mineral veins are located very close to the freshwater salmon spawning grounds, which are needed to keep all the wild salmon's population sustained. The mine would be the largest mine in North America and would go down 2,000 feet and be 2 miles wide. This would not be an issue if the veins were not that close to the spawning grounds, but wild salmon are ultra-sensitive to chemicals, and Pebble Mine executives think that there will be no calamities, but that is unrealistic. Dynasty Minerals also plans on taking out 35 billion gallons of water a year, and to put that into perspective, Anchorage, Alaska, which is the largest city that has a population of 300,000 citizens, also my home, drinks less water yearly than that number. Dynasty Minerals Pebble Mine is trying to extend across the headwaters of the Nushagak and Kvitjak, two of the biggest salmon spawning watersheds, and one of those watersheds flows into Lake Iliamna. Lake Iliamna is the deepest lake in North America and also spawns around 1/5 of Bristol Bay's sockeye salmon every season, and continues to produce more and more fish every fishing year. They will be using the flotation process to extract the minerals from the ores, but with this method, they have to use different chemicals like alkyl sulfates, phosphates, arsenates, kerosene, and diesel. But once again, salmon are highly delicate to acidity. The acid mine draining that they will have to be dumped. The acid mine draining that they will have has to be dumped somewhere around this region, unless they want to build more roads to dump it in Bristol Bay, on top of the roads that they will already need to build to have the energy supply for their mine power source. Not only will they have to make roads and ruin the environment and possibly damage the salmon spawns, but Dynasty Minerals will also have to move the liquefied natural gas to those mining sites for their equipment. The liquefied natural gas in Alaskan waters already do not have a good history together. In 1989, there was an oil tanker spill in Prince William Sound, Alaska, that released 10.8 million gallons of oil. Fishing and tourism were closed in that area for a year and put the predominantly fishing-heavy town of Prince William Sound in a brief financial crisis, since their economy revolved around the fishing and tourism season. The salmon spawns in the area also took a hit with it being smaller, unhealthier, and less populated. The salmon are slowly getting back to their original escapement, but this is a clear indicator on how chemicals can affect salmon spawns. The money payout of the mine is also a huge debate. The Bristol Bay salmon spawns have steadily been declining in size and numbers already, and if Pebble Mine goes through, it will be very detrimental to the salmon population as a whole. Many people think that the payout of the mine will outweigh the economic difference of the money made from salmon, but as a renewable resource, salmon will eventually outweigh the cost of the mine because of the commercial, substantial, and normal tourist and sport fisheries. Sport fisheries make around $78 to $175 million a year, while commercial fishing makes around $688 million annually as well. If there was a mining catastrophe, the people of Bristol Bay would be tossed around due to their village running off the salmon spawns, just like Prince William Sound was in 1989. Even if there was no human errors in play, Mother Nature would still have a say in the Bristol Bay region. Since 1931, there have been 350 accounted earthquakes in the Bristol Bay borough region, and one of those was an earthquake that had a magnitude of 5.8. Bristol Bay has a 40.8% chance of having an earthquake within the next 50 years, and since 2012, it has spiked rapidly from having an average of 8 earthquakes a year from 2000 to 2010 to having an average of 83 earthquakes from 2010 to 2020. So Dynasty Minerals will also have to account for natural disasters. Not only will earthquakes be put into effect with the mine, but also the freezing temperatures that occur in Bristol Bay. The lowest it has gotten in Bristol Bay was negative 41 degrees, so the equipment will not even work properly in those harsh environments. Dynasty Minerals' proposition in Pebble Mine in Bristol Bay, Alaska has many legal hoops to jump through to get to the green light for mining, but with the politics changing every 4 to 8 years, Bristol Bay is always in restlessness. The villages need that salmon run to prosper. There should not be a price tag on people's livelihood and state that they live in when it comes to legal mining. This is why it's a big deal to me, because that's my livelihood. That's the only way I'm actually paying for ASU right now, is with this job. And if this Pebble Mine goes through, basically it's putting my job at a very weird scenario.